The Lord's calling you, and you, and. Thank you so much for coming today.
And all the attention is going to be on you. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for people to say, over and over again?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. What's going on, family? You know who it is. Monica Sekhmet Grant, Young Boss Media, coming live from the bathroom. Just like BET, live from the basement. We in the bathroom. What's going on, family? It's your girl, Monica Sekhmet Grant, and this is Young Boss Media. We are here for another mentorship call. Now, on today's episode, we are going all the way out to Dakar, Senegal. I love Senegal so much. If you know me, you know I always talk about Senegal and how much I love Senegal. So today we are talking to Yasmina Bileoma. She is the head of communications for USAID's Young Africa Leaders Initiative, YALI. And she is the regional leadership center in Dakar. That's her title. It's a long title, and the sister does a lot. She sent me her bio, and I was like, listen, you do a lot, so I'm gonna just have you come on here and tell me what you do. But it's definitely around youth empowerment. She's working with a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, politicians. She's a big wig. So welcome into Young Boss Media, another Young Boss. Yasmina, how you doing?
Hi, Monica. Such an introduction. Thank you.
Listen, when I read your bio, that's how I feel. It's like, ooh, we got somebody special today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm blessed. All is well. It's sunny here in New York,
Awesome.
and everything is well.
Yes, so it's hot here in Dakar, actually.
I'm sure. We're on the same summertime calendar, so I can imagine.
Yes.
So first of all, for anybody that has not been to Dakar, that has not been to Senegal, tell us about it.
So much to say about Dakar. Dakar is located in West Africa. It's a huge country. There are so many things to do. I mean, when people come to Dakar, they're like, this is not what I thought of Africa. I mean, it's amazing. I'm sure you already been here, like you mentioned earlier. You have everything from amazing beaches to islands, and you can have a great vacation. And recently, in the last couple of years, I've noticed that a lot of African Americans have started investing in Senegal. So they are actually seeing the value of Senegal. And there's this renowned painter who did portrait for Barack Obama. I can't really remember. Kainde Wiley.
Is he from Senegal?
No, Kainde Riley I think it's from Nigeria, if I'm not confused.
Okay.
He did a portrait for Barack Obama, and it does a lot of African American inspired work. And he actually bought a residency here in Senegal for artists, and there were a huge party with Naomi Campbell and Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. So Senegal is definitely on the map now.
Yeah, Senegal's popping. So I was there in 2008, and definitely that experience of, I didn't know this existed. And the reason why, this was my first time going to the continent, I remember talking to a teacher, and I was like, I really don't know what to expect once I leave the airport. I have no clue what happens after that. And so there was definitely like that fear, but also just entering into nowhere. I don't know what's going to happen. And it was just beautiful, amazing. It's the country of Teranga, hospitality, and it is very true. Like, you feel that. Welcome home, sister. Welcome home. And I've been to other African nations where I don't feel Teranga. So, so I'm always making the comparison to Senegal. Like, do I feel like I was when I was in Senegal? So definitely you have made an impact on just the way that I perceive Africa and the possibilities of Africans and African Americans and the diaspora coming together just by my experience in 2008. So anytime I hear about somebody from Senegal, I live in Harlem, there's a big Senegalese population here. Right. And so I'm just overjoyed by Senegal. I love Senegal.
That's great.
Absolutely. So tell us about the work that you're doing with YALI.
Sure. YALI is the Young African Leadership Initiative, and it was actually started by former President Barack Obama in 2010. And since then, the project, the initiative has evolved from the Mandela Washington Fellowships, which is a flagship program for the initiative. There's also the Yali Network, and now the 4 regional leadership centers. You have one here in Dakar, one in Ghana, one in Kenya, and one in South Africa. So basically, all of those program RLCs, we say regional leadership centers, are funded in part by USAID, the MasterCard foundations, and other private donors, such as Citibank, Dole Foundation, and so on. And Microsoft as well is a huge partner of ours. So what we do basically is provide leadership training to young Africans across the continent. So we target young Africans aged from 18 to 35 who have leadership potential and who have always have a project who can have a sustainable impact on the continent. So we want to make sure that when they get this training, they can actually have an impact, whether in a business, for their communities, or as volunteering. So we have 3 major tracks, which are business and entrepreneurship, civic leadership, and public management. So this is basically an overview of the program and what we do. So let me know if you have any other questions about our work in general.
Yeah, for sure. So within these different like sectors that you address, what does the leadership development look like? Are you training them to be in the community? Are you training them with mentors? What does that actually look like?
Actually, it depends on their field.
Okay.
First of all, yes, civic leadership is more oriented towards people who are involved with nonprofit organizations, in volunteering, and so on. Public management is for young people who are in administrations, in government. So we give them courses like how to fight against corruption and stuff like that, and include the proper training. And the business entrepreneurship is oriented toward young Africans who want to change Africa with their ideas, and we provide them with the skills so they can realize their dream, pretty much.
Got it. And so when they finish the program, well, actually, how long is the program? And then second question is, when they finish the program, what are the expectations that they should be seeing from their career?
So actually, there are 2 types of trainings. You have the online training and the hybrid training, which happens in Dakar. So the online training is an 8 weeks intensive course. And the training in Dakar starts with 2 weeks online, and then they spend 3 weeks here in Dakar when they have a lot of activities, a lot of training. They get to visit Dakar, go to Gorée Island. I'm sure you went there since
Yeah,
when you came to
absolutely.
Senegal, of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah, you can't miss that.
Of course not. And the Pink Lake, and like I was saying,
Black
there's so much
Rose.
to do in Senegal. So it's amazing to have all the young people that come from 16 countries with their ideas, their dreams. It's just an amazing job. And yeah, after, it's not only about the training, like you were saying, it's also about the post training. So what we do is we create networks of alumni in each country we target, and all of those networks, they have a president, they have secretary. It's like a real organization, and they do a lot in their communities. And
It
outside of
is
those,
a real organization.
I mean, these young people are amazing. I'm fascinated with them. And every time I go to their events, I'm like, I mean, Africa is on a move. Like, it's sure you don't think I think the media is still, outside of the fact that with the boost of technology, we are able to communicate this image of Africa we want, that's beautiful, that's in a further economic development, but they still don't understand what's really going on. And even as I was living in Africa myself, I was surprised to see so many young people that's motivated, who are smart, and have really good ideas for the economic development of the continent.
So let me ask you this, because you just made a great point. So being in Dakar, being in Senegal, what is your perception of the rest of the 50 plus nations, particularly coming from the media? What is the media telling you about the rest of the continent?
I think African media is different than media in the rest of the world, because we focus on political scandals and what's going on in this country or that one. you have to go to specific platforms to see the type of growth that's evolving through the continent. It's very political and government like powered. So
Okay.
I don't know, but still online there are some amazing platform like on Instagram, on Facebook. It's called Visiter l'Afrique, and they
Hmm.
have this page. Each account is for a specific country. So you get to see what's going on in Africa, all the young that are doing things, how beautiful it is. So it's always a pleasure to see all these platforms that are emerging and providing the type of content we need. And again, like you were saying, working in communications, all 54 countries are different. So on the
Hmm.
political, social, and economical level, it always had to be taken in considerations. And I'm covering 16 countries, and some of them are
Wow.
French speaking, and some other ones are Portuguese, and one is Spanish speaking. So all the mentality is different, and we
Hmm.
have to make sure we take that into account when we communicate and deal with these young people.
That's amazing. So tell me, so Portuguese, do you deal with Angola?
No, we don't cover Angola, but another thing is we are now expanding to 25 countries,
Hmm.
including Angola. So that's a huge milestone. And we'll be covering other countries like the DRC, Congo,
Okay.
and so on. So, yeah, that's another milestone of the project.
That's amazing because I was looking at pictures of Angola recently and I was just amazed about how beautiful it is.
It
But I
is.
feel
It's
like the
amazing.
perception of, Angola or the Congo, you receive negativity from it. But if you actually just Google these countries, you can see how beautiful they are and what they have to offer. Tell me this.
Exactly.
Um, so you're the head of communication. So what does your work like flow look like dealing with 16 to 25 countries? What are you really doing? Are you doing like the social media or like you sending out emails, connecting yourself to other organizations? What does that look like?
Geez, I
A
cover a
lot.
lot
A
with my
lot.
team. It's all about teamwork, of course. But
Absolutely.
what I do in general is I cover all aspects of traditional, digital, or social media in general. I also connect with all the alumni network on the continent. We have almost 3,500, so that's
Hmm.
a lot. And we
Congratulations.
make
Wow.
sure we, yes, thank you, we have a huge audience on social media, so we make sure we engage a lot with them, not only to improve recruiting purposes, but also make sure we are there for them. And we use those platforms to communicate around the good they are doing. And we put them also in touch with partners like Microsoft, USAID, and so on for more visibility and engagement for our partners' platforms. And outside of that, I'll also handle everything related to events and public relations in general.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, that's a lot. I love it. I love it. I love it. You spoke about the differences between cultures across the continent. Can you go a little more into that? Like what changes based on? Because I am familiar with the difference between a French colonized country and a British one. It feels extremely different, And then
Mm,
having gone to France and having gone to London, you see those bleed in, and then you have Muslim culture in Dakar, and so a lot of that, I think that's also why it feels good because you're very relaxed and chill and comfortable.
right.
Um, while other countries are very go 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 get the money, and you can see that is a reflection of like British culture. Can you speak about how like maybe a Portuguese culture or a Spanish culture influences the African tribal villages and how that bleeds into the culture?
I think it changes everything, actually. Earlier, you mentioned Congo. I didn't tell you all about myself because I was born in Congo.
Okay.
My dad is Yoruba, originally from Benin and Nigeria, and
Wow.
my mom is Senegalese. So I've come from a little bit everywhere in Africa. So I kind of experienced firsthand what it is to all these cultural diversities, religions, beliefs. I mean, it's amazing. Africa is huge. People have this small perception of it.
Yeah.
There are 54 countries, and all of them are different. Different things to do, different people, different food, different cultures. And again, like you were saying, for myself, I think French colonized people, countries are basically following France, if I can say. And it's the same type of government, and the English countries like Nigeria and Ghana, they are like so forward, the goal getters and so on. And the Portuguese countries, they are very independent. And
Hmm.
that's a point that I admire about them. They take on initiatives. And if you were talking about Angola earlier, is one of the most successful countries on the continent. They are doing a lot. And yeah, basically that's all I can tell you about cultural diversities in general in Africa.
For sure, for sure. And so being American, when I travel, I actually do not want to deal with anything British. Because it's like I just came from this. Like I need something new. I need something different. And so I think for me, that's why Senegal just feels so good. It's like let's sit and drink tea, relax, calm down, party, meet good people. That's what we're going to do. And it feels it's like a breath of fresh air because here in New York, it's like even when I travel in America, I don't want to go to another big city because I'm in New York. There's
Right.
no comparison to New York City. Take me to the country. Let me sit down somewhere. Let me relax. Let me be around good people. And so that's what I love about Senegal. So, and I always tell people, like, if you're going to go anywhere in Africa, the first country you must go to is Senegal. It is super close to us. The
Yes.
people will love you. You don't need to speak French. You can communicate. It is all good.
Yeah, again, the Teranga factor has a lot to do with it. And I think Senegalese, they're really like Americans because of the Gorée Island, with the slave house and everything. And it's a direct link with the African American communities. So from my young age, I always seen that Senegal was always keeping up with USA trends in terms of
Hmm.
fashion, of music, compared to the other countries I lived in Africa. So I think the history from the slave trade and the fact that the slaves, this was the last point, in Africa during their transfer, and they will leave here and never come back. So I think
Right.
that's a lot to do with the connection between Senegal and the US.
Yeah, the door of no return. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, if there's an opening for an ambassador of Senegalese tourism, you let me know. I will appoint myself to it. I will go hard for that position.
You do a
Now,
great job.
I'm gonna knock on doors like, "Hey, pack your bags, get your passport, get your yellow fever shot. We going." So tell me, how did you get into the position of being the head of communications for Yale? Like, how did that all come about?
After a lot of struggles, but to give you
Let's
a
talk
little
about it.
resume,
Yeah.
I actually went to school for marketing. I did not go to school for communications. And given the fact that I came to the US at 18 years old, I didn't speak no English. I mean, I thought I spoke English, but because of school, I had good grades in English. I'm like, I got this. And usually there's this exam you have to do before you come to the university, a
Hmm.
language test. It's called TOEFL. I didn't do it. I went straight as a freshman, and I was in business classes like, oh my God. And I was in South Carolina with a southern
Oh.
accent. Oh my God, it was
Where
crazy.
in South Carolina?
I was in Columbia.
So I grew up in North Augusta, South Carolina. So
Oh
I
my
was
God,
literally 63 miles from you. Yep.
amazing.
Yeah, you were at
And
USC?
no, I was at Allen University. It's a
Allen, yeah.
black college,
Yep,
and
yep,
it was,
yep, yep, yep.
yes,
You went to
it was
HBCU?
awesome. Yes, I loved it. And
Yeah.
oh, and yeah, it was, and the college was actually built on an old slave field, so
Hmm.
we always had this sense of empowerment, and it was the best experience of my life. And I came back into Senegal, I think 7 years after the I lived in the US after school. And I came here. I started working for a fashion designer named Claire Kane. Did a lot of marketing events, and I was hired for a big event for the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They do this yearly event in Africa where they select a leader that were
Hmm.
able to advance his country and bring really great development. And that year we awarded Desmond Tutu from South Africa.
Oh, wow.
So Yes, it was a big event, very well regarded in on the continent. And after that, I just spread from doing translations and doing a lot of interviews, working with the media. I worked for a big agency in West Africa called 54 Communications,
Okay.
and I slowly evolved and started getting hired for from companies like Facebook and other ones like Alibaba and so on, doing my work because I have an agency as well.
That's a
And
huge resume to be able to say you work for Facebook and Alibaba. That's huge.
yes, thank you so much. And
Yeah.
actually, I think also the fact that I'm bilingual has a lot to do with me getting those great contracts. And so I learned a lot. And I did not mention then between those years coming from the US, getting used to, work, finding work easily, making money easily. Like I struggled in the beginning. I couldn't even
Yeah.
find an internship. I mean, it was terrible, but it taught me a lot, about life in general. And because my life was so easy in the US, and you come back to Africa, like, yeah, it's still the same. Nah, it's hard. It's very hard. But I think that has a lot to do with my character and me. I feel like I didn't do much. So I always tell myself, you can do more, you can do more. And yes, after my last contract from with Facebook, I got hired by the Yali Regional Leadership Center, and it was an honor because I actually tried to be an alumni, and I was rejected. And I was like, you didn't take me, but now you want to hire me. So that's a story that I always tell. And I feel like I'm a part of the Yeli family. It's an amazing program.
Definitely, yeah. My story is filled with no's, 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 no's. But if I would have had a whole bunch of yeses, we wouldn't be talking right now. This platform wouldn't have been developed. Like all the no's pushed me into, you know what? I just gotta do my own thing. I just have to figure it out, and that's where I was supposed to be all along. So the no's were a blessing.
They
Now
are.
I want to ask you another question. So as a woman, as a black woman, you've been in America as a black woman. What are some of the experiences and the struggles that you've experienced just being a woman in America and in Senegal and in the continent that you've had to overcome?
Hmm. In America, I mean, I lived in South Carolina, and there are still these huge presence of, I'm not gonna say the word, but it you
The
you
R word?
definitely feel it.
The R word?
um yeah, the R word, I don't
Yeah,
want to say it.
I hear you.
But but you feel that even in France. I was in France also for a while. A lot of my family lives there. You definitely feel that you're black, and especially with what's going on this last couple of months with the Black Lives Matter movement and so on. Us as Africans, we feel, I mean, we feel that in a different way, of course, but I think we should be together and fight this together. Because myself, as a black woman in the United States going to school, I definitely feel being black. They wouldn't be like, no, she's African, she's not black, African American. I mean, they will know the difference because all they see is the color of my skin. So I definitely felt that living in the US and Europe. And in Africa is different. You don't feel that pressure. For me, it's all about women empowerment, because I still feel like women don't have this position. They are not to this position there where they should be. They are still minimized a lot. And yeah, I think we need to change that. Hello.
Hey, are you there?
Yeah, I lost you for a minute.
I lost you. Oh, okay.
We
I think
lost each other.
we lost each other. Well, now we're back. You start talking about the
Awesome.
R word and things get shaky. Uh oh, they're starting to unite. Click.
all the way in Africa.
All the way. Like, we know Monica. We know where this conversation is going. Click. Well, the reason why I asked that question is because so yesterday we had a show. We brought together 10 sisters from around the globe, throughout the continent, throughout the diaspora, and we wanted to have a conversation of just what it's like to be a sister, right? What it's like to be a Black woman, and particularly now the fact that we can actually communicate with each other virtually. You know, that we can actually have conversations that we weren't having before. I wanted to kind of bring you in on that because it's like, you know, you're doing so much amazing work as a woman, and then I'm also speaking to women in other countries who are having like a tough time, you know, overcoming a lot of the issues that women deal with. And so I just wanted like your reflection on that, as just being a sister, you know, and being very successful.
Thank you so much. I don't know when it cut off when I was talking, but I was telling you about my experience in South Carolina, and
Mm-hmm.
I was still very racist there. You know, they have the Confederate flag and all of that, and so I definitely felt that even as an African, they don't see that; they just see your black skin. So I feel like I had the same problem as my friends, but my friends they're very strong minded, you know, black southern people, like they don't even play it. And I think I took a lot of that with me, all the strength of black women, and brought it with me, you know, through my life. So that's a great thing that I took from them as well. And you know, here in Senegal, as a woman, not even that successful of a woman, you feel not black racist repercussion problems. It's more like yeah, you're a woman, you know, you're not in that place you need to be, you know. And I don't feel like women have this position yet. And in Senegal, you know, when men can have 4 wives, so I think this still has a lot to do with the perception men have of women. Can you hear me? Hello.